Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Crista Hermance. I'm an estate planning attorney, and we are going live today with your estate planning questions and answers. Um, we're just waiting for the connections to get up and go live. We are going live across a couple different platforms. Okay, perfect. I think we are good. So today I wanted to talk about what is the cost of an estate plan and what is the cost of not having an estate plan? And that's really where I wanted to start the conversation. So, again, live estate planning questions and answers. What is the cost to do an estate plan? What is the cost of not having an estate plan? If you're just joining me and you have any estate planning questions that you want answered, please put those in the chat as I will be getting to those. We also have some questions that had come in from last week's live Q&As that we did that I did want to get to as well. Okay, so let's talk about how much estate planning actually costs. So it's going to vary from state to state. I'm a licensed attorney in California. Our process is very focused on trust planning because of what our probate process is in California. And so it really depends on the state of what's needed. So it's always best to work with an attorney in your state to get a good idea as to what's necessary to make sure that you can set up a plan to fit what your needs are and how you want to protect your family and your assets. Okay, so when you think about estate planning, it's not just one document, right? So it's very hard to compare apples to oranges because you never really understand when you're getting like quotes from different attorneys or looking at DIY plans online to understand what exactly everything comes with. So it's very important to be able to really know, okay, here's all the stuff that's included in an estate plan. So for will packages, you can probably find a will package, at least again in California, somewhere between maybe $3,000 to $5,000. And it's not just a will, right? It might be a will, power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, guardian nomination, and a bunch of other supporting documents. There might be other stuff that the attorney is doing for you as well. So maybe it's a little less than 3,000. I've seen some attorneys when they're starting out, they might be quoting lower because they don't have as much experience. And so sometimes that's where you might see lower will packages come in. But again, in California, I don't even think I did a will package last year because it just wasn't something that clients need, right? In California, we need trust-based plans. So in California, and again, I'm in Southern California, and I have attorney friends all throughout the state, and it's generally in the same range, generally starting at about $4,000, going up to maybe $7,000 to $8,000, depending on the type of plan that they need. And that type of plan for us would include a trust, a pour over will, so a will and a trust that work together. It's going to include it may have asset protection in there. There may be a special needs trust included if it's necessary for the kids. There is going to be a primary transfer deed for your primary residence, transferring it from you to you as the trustee of your trust. It's going to include all the supporting documents, so certificate of trust, the schedules, the personal property memorandums, all the stuff that goes into having a comprehensive estate plan that is a trust-based plan. We also have a platform that we speak to clients on. It's a secure platform where we upload documents. This is how we have conversations. There's several meetings with the attorney and support from the staff. There's also just events that we have throughout the year. And so like in December, Jennifer, who's another attorney that works in our office, her and I did an in-person trust funding meeting with our clients. So clients came in that had a trust, and we were able to talk through the different types of assets and how to make sure that those are funded into your trust. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. There might be business assignments that need to be done. And again, that goes into that price range that I gave you. There might be disinheritance when we have a client that has some type of disinheritance, we're going to provide more detail into the trust if we think there's the potential that when somebody were to pass away that there could be a trust contest, right? And so we're going to have more supporting documentation in that trust document, and that really goes into that price range that I quoted to you. Okay. um, so that is how much it costs to have an estate plan. So let's talk about how much it costs to not have an estate plan. And I would say average that I see is maybe 4 to 5 thousand. I think that's what a lot of my other estate planning attorney friends throughout the state do. Even I have friends in, I mean, all over, and their general price range is about 5,000 to start. Um, so that's how much an estate plan costs. Okay. And you have to remember an estate plan isn't just for when you pass away. An estate plan is also if you were to get sick, right? So if you were to get sick, it says, this is how I want my assets to be able to be taken care of, to be able to help take care of me. This is how I want my health decisions to be made. All very important factors that come into a comprehensive estate plan. So in California and in a lot of other states throughout the United States, there are what we call probate court, right? Probate court is the process when somebody doesn't have a trust or when they own assets in their individual name, those assets then would have to go through that probate court process. It generally takes anywhere from 1 to 2 years to complete. Um, and it's very, very, very expensive. And so, to give you an idea of how expensive it is, let's say that there is an estate worth $500,000, and maybe it's made up of $490,000 in real estate, and $10,000 in various bank accounts. So a total estate worth $500,000. The cost to go through probate for a $500,000 estate in the state of California is $26,000. $26,000. And that doesn't even include other costs. So there's filing fees, there's bond fees, there's probate referee fees, there's publication fees. That's another $2,000 to $3,000. That's almost $30,000 for an estate to have to go through probate. Okay, so when you look at the cost of having an estate plan at less than five, and then you look at the cost of having to go through probate court, which for a $500,000 estate would be $26,000, then why would you not have an estate plan? Right? The cost difference is so substantial. And what I'm seeing a lot of right now is the families where maybe there's just a home that's owned, the families actually can't afford to go through probate and keep the house. So they're being forced to sell the house to pay for all the costs to have to get it transferred. Okay. If you are watching this live, I would love to pull the cost. So if you know the value of an estate and you want to know how much it would cost to go through probate, I actually have a probate calculator, a probate fee calculator on our website that is there for people to be able to use, right? To be able to just figure out how much does it cost. So if you know and you're watching live right now and you want to know, okay, maybe it's my estate, maybe it's, my parents' estate, put the value of the estate in there and I will give you those real-time numbers from the probate fee calculator. Okay. And I'll do that if you put your numbers in. And I will go to the questions that I've seen come in. But again, if you're watching this and you want to know how much your estate or somebody's estate that you know would cost to go through probate, please tell me and I will put it in our probate fee calculator to figure out how much it would cost. Okay. Okay. If you are just joining me, I'm doing live questions and answers. Please put your questions in the comments. And I do see a few that have come in. So I'm going to start getting to those. But this is your opportunity to get your estate planning questions answered. Okay. And again, if you want to know how much it would cost to go through probate court, put that value in as a comment and I will do it on the calculator. I just pulled it up. Okay. So next question that I see, do guardian nominations go into the trust or is it a separate document? Great question. So a trust is an agreement about how your assets are to be distributed or to allow you to be taken care of if you get sick or at your passing. A trust is generally not it's not something that goes through probate court. And a guardian nomination, or the act of nominating guardians where somebody would petition the court, would be something that would have to go through probate. And so technically it could go in there, but we wouldn't want it to go in there, because then you're bringing in that whole trust document into probate court. And we want to keep that private, keep it out. And so generally we have guardian nominations that's done in a will. And then sometimes we actually even keep it separate so that it just goes in a guardian nomination document that's signed. In California, we would have it notarized when the parents would sign it, and thereby making it a legal document that we can then use if something happened. So great question. I don't think anybody has ever asked me that question before. But I wouldn't put it in the trust document. I would put guardian nominations either in the will or um, in a separate legal guardian nomination document. Okay. Okay, if you're just joining me, my name is Crista Hermance. I'm an estate planning attorney. I am licensed to practice in the state of California, and am going live to answer your estate planning questions. So I have a few questions that have come in, but if you are watching and you have any questions about wills, trust, guardian nomination, power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, maybe you're the beneficiary of somebody's estate, you don't really know what to do, please put those comments in the chat. I will try to get to them. And if you didn't hear me from before, if you want to type in what your value is for how much it would cost to go through probate, I have my probate fee calculator up. I can run those numbers and give you that real time so that you know, is it better to have an estate plan? I just saw somebody put that estimated cost in there, so I'll go through that again. Or is it better to just pay for probate, right? Okay, next question that I see. What payment options do you have? Okay, so for clients that work with us to do an estate plan, we have 3 options. So the first one is you pay all the money up front when we start, and that's normally what most of our clients will do. The second option is we have a payment plan option, and it costs an additional $250 for the plan, and it can go out over the course of no more than 11 months. And with that plan, we will take the total amount with that $250 add-on and divide it by 11, and then there will be automatic payments that are done at the same time every month. And then at that point, you'll design the plan with the attorney, but you won't start the process to sign the documents until that last payment is received. So, but for some clients, it works for them, right? They're waiting a year to sign their documents. Sometimes they need 6 months, but they are just making payments to be able to get that plan in place. And we have clients that do that payment option altogether. We have clients who do that payment option all the time. And it works for them, right? Another payment option that we have is using a firm. A firm is like a credit source where you can work with them directly to get credit based on your credit score. They will pay us and have that relationship with you where you'll make payments to them, but then you can get your estate plan signed just as a normal client would if they were just making the payment at one time. Okay. So those are the payment options that we have. And we do accept payment by credit cards, cash check, cashier's check. There's lots of different options for making those payments. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Okay. So estimated costs for a living trust versus a will. Okay. I'll talk about the cost. But I do want to mention for anybody that's just joining us, because I do see some new people on here. So again, my name is Crista Hermance. I'm an estate planning attorney. If you have questions about how to get started on estate planning, please DM me cost, and we will send you a link to schedule a free consultation. A lot of times people know they need something in place, but they're just not really sure what. And so this is a great opportunity to have that free phone consultation and get information, get a quote on pricing to figure out how much it's going to be, and really just know what your options are. Again, we are licensed to practice in the state of California. So if you are not in California, please send us a message with where you are, and we can send you contacts throughout the country, right? We have attorneys that we work with all over. Okay. So let's talk about the last question that just came in on estimated cost for a living trust versus a will. So a will package, because we don't just do a will, we don't just do a trust. Everything that we do is going to have a plan. It's going to have a comprehensive plan with it. So a will based plan is going to be a will, a trust, power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, HIPAA authorization. um, I think those are the only documents. Okay. Whereas a trust is going to have the trust, a pour over will, advanced healthcare directive, power of attorney, guardian nominations, HIPAA authorizations, and then a bunch of other supporting documents for the trust. So, certificate of trust, schedules, personal property memorandum. If you have property, we're going to transfer your primary residence from you into your trust. We're also going to do preliminary change of ownership report with the assessor's office. And so there's quite a bit more that comes with the trust package, just because the trust does have a lot of supporting documents with it. So a will package should generally run probably about $3,000. And again, this is in California. A trust package is probably going to be somewhere upwards of 4 to 5. And then depending on the type of plan, if there's other documents or specific language or things that we need to do, can run somewhere up to $7,000 to $8,000. But generally, $4,000 to $5,000 seems like a reasonable basic trust estate plan. That's going to come with those comprehensive documents. Sometimes we have clients that will have multiple properties, whether they're in the state of California or maybe in other states. That's going to add to the cost, because now we have to do additional documents, do additional recordings for all of those different properties. So that's going to increase the cost. But it brings me to a good point that, for people that own property in various states, estate planning is so important, because a lot of times people don't really think about the impact of, well, what if I were to pass away and I own all these properties? Well, if you do not have a trust and maybe you just had a will, um, you're for every estate that you owned a property in, there would have to be a separate probate in every single one of those states. And so a lot of times I'll have attorneys that we work with all over the country contact us to do a probate in California because they're in a different state. And so we're doing what's called an ancillary probate for them, right? The person passed away in another state, but we're doing the probate here because maybe they owned a rental property in California. And then we have to go through the process and do that probate here. And it's the same cost, right? So it's every single state, right? Which is huge. That's a lot of probate fees. Whereas if you had a trust, you could say, like, if you're in California, you'd say, okay, well, I have my house here in California. I have my estate plan with my trust here in California. And now I'm going to just put all of the properties that I have in different states into the name of my California trust. So if something happened to me, my trustee, whoever it may be, is now going to deal with all those properties according to the terms of my trust agreement, right? So it's another way to save potentially a lot of money having to go through probate by just having to go through the terms of the trust. Okay. Okay. Again, if you need an estate plan, you're not really sure where to get started, or you're ready to get started, please send me a message, and you can type cost into that message, and we will send you a link to schedule a free phone consultation so that you can just get a better idea as to what comes included. Is a will package or a trust package better for me? Those are things that we're going to go through with you in that free consultation. So I will be back here tomorrow for live estate planning questions. So if you're watching this in the replay, please put your question in the comments, and I will try and get to it tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful day.